Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Caps Tech. On this episode, the one that you've been waiting for, we're going to show you how all of these meters interact with each other and other stimuluses that you might not be aware of that will affect the actual readings that you're getting on this equipment. So, when you're out in the field, you have power lines, you obviously know that that can affect it. Microwave ovens, television sets, sometimes computers, other stimulus like that. But if you're in an abandoned building, you don't have a lot of that, or at least you don't think you do. But some of your equipment, like the cell phone in your pocket, your walkie talkies, can interfere with that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn a bunch of this stuff on and see how it interacts and what it actually picks up. So joining me on this episode is Derek and Ma. And we brought them in because they have their equipment here is Derek has the 3 digital meters below that he uses regularly, as well as a set of these. And Ma uses the Ovilus on a regular basis. And I have the Eddy and the REM Pod back here.
A regular basis, okay. Yes, we're getting goofy over here. Sorry, folks.
It's an Ovilus.
Ovilus. The Ovilus 5. So, B. So, okay. So, again, let's kind of go through these real quick again. So, we have the REM Pod. We have the EDI, the Eddy. We have the Ghost meter. We have a K2 meter. We have
An Ovilus 5B.
Okay.
My digital EMF millimeter and my smaller EMF detector as well.
Okay. And if you want more information on the rest of these, each individual, we've done an episode describing each one and how they work. So please go check that out if you'd like more information on these. So first of all, the difference in these is mainly all of these are going to detect electromagnetic field of some variation or some sort, except for the REM pod. The REM pod actually emits an electromagnetic field, as we said in that episode. So what this does is it actually, the energy, when you interact with the energy, it sets off the alarm of the REM pod. So we're going to set this one aside because it should not pick up any of the EMF frequencies that we're going to try and project. But we do want to see if this REM pod will affect any of these meters. So hopefully, I think we have all the meters on camera. So let's go ahead and turn them all on. If you want to set this on to energy.
The sonar one makes noise.
Oops. Oh, sorry.
I forgot to put Fahrenheit.
Okay. So as we noticed in the last episode, for whatever reason, the Eddy is actually picking up EMF right now. And none of these other meters are doing it. So I'm not sure why that is. Man, it's just fluctuating all over the board here.
It's kind of
You can
random.
shut off each one and you'll know which one is.
It's not any of that because it was doing this when I had it on its own. Can you go grab me some new batteries and we'll change the batteries in it quick and see. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we got all these turned on. So the Ovilus is in energy mode right now. So we're going to see how it affects with that. And then all of the other equipment, these guys are just analog, so they will just light up. And then these you'll be able to see the digital numbers light up here, as well as the digital number here. And this is the same as these. So now we're going to see kind of what interacts with it. This bottom light, if you didn't watch the other video, is just the vibration. So if we bump the table, that's what that light is. So we are going to first, let's get out our phones. And these are both on airplane mode now, so they shouldn't be interfering with any of this stuff. So we're going to turn them off airplane mode. and see if that spikes anything right away. No, doesn't look like it does. Ooh. There you go. As soon as we turn these off airplane mode, you have right away, these meters right here are spiking up. This one doesn't appear to be doing anything. Interesting. But this one, like again, when on the original episodes for these, this one is just supposed to be tuned to more paranormal, whereas this one is actually all electromagnetic field. And this is your millimeter, right? That one is still at 0.2 as well.
Before it was at 15.2.
So you can tell that these two are interacting here. So you can see that some of these are interacting, some of them aren't. So what the first thing we're going to do, and this is just with the phones on. So you do have an app. The Life 360 app is always running on yours, correct?
I think so.
And that would be is an app that always broadcasts. So that would be picking up that all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and give Derek a call here, and we'll see how that intersects any
Just
of
don't
these.
answer, right?
Yeah, don't answer it.
I have my phone on vibrate, just so you know.
Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, so he's coming up over there, and it doesn't look like that is affecting any of these equipment at all.
So that one.
Yep, except for that one. So, okay, hang up that. Ooh. But see, now, this one is picking up whenever the call is ended or done something else. So the other thing we're going to try is cell service is different than actual data. So we're going to go on here, and I'm going to mute this, and we're going to pull up one of our episode videos, and we're going to stream some video right now and see how that affects any of this. Yeah, it just looks like the K2 is the only one that's picking anything up from that. Yep, doesn't seem to affect the rest of them. So that's good to know. Okay, you can go ahead and put that thing back on airplane mode, please. And we're done with that. And that should kill that one. So it is definitely, the K2 here was definitely picking up from the cell phone usage, because as soon as we turned it on or off airplane mode, that kicked that up. So you're definitely going to want to be careful with using the K2 style meter of this, and this is pretty easy to find. You can get it on eBay,
Amazon.
yeah, all over the place, same as these. And some of these are a little bit older models, but I have seen those online as well. So okay, the next thing we're going to pull out here is the REM pod. And the REM pod, like I said, should put out its own electromagnetic field. So we're going to turn this on. And we're going to turn up the REM range all the way. So now, right now, this is putting out its own electromagnetic field. And it is... doesn't seem to affect any of the meters. It is picking up a little bit from them though, but I mean that's getting really close, unless you're using your equipment in really close proximity.
This one it had to be in front of.
Yep. So it doesn't appear that any of these are being affected by the REM pod. So that's good to know. Why don't we go ahead and turn our cell phones back on to that and try the same experiment with that to see if it makes a difference. And right away, we're getting back on that one. And the one down there, the millimeter, that was my arm. So it doesn't look like anything's going on there. We're going to try the same experiment. I'm going to call Derek again. Oh, Derek's phone's turned off at the moment, so...
I think my phone just died, that's why.
Okay. Well, still, I tried making a phone call, it didn't work, so... We're going to try streaming a video again real quick. Oops. And that doesn't seem to affect the REM pod either. So, good to know. All right, so your phone is dead.
Unfortunately. And her phone's in the car.
That means that ain't going to affect that. Okay, so the cell phones don't seem to affect the REM pod at all. So the next thing we're going to show you is these guys are Midland walkie-talkies. They're supposed to have a 23 or 26 mile radius. And these are the ones that we use on our investigations. And we noticed that these do interact with the REM pod when we were out on location. And we tested that and proved it. So what we're going to do is we're going to try a set of these. And if you want to set this kind of over there a little bit.
Volume is bad.
Okay. Well, that shouldn't matter. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put one on either side of these and trigger it across it. Now, just having this walkie on you is not going to interfere with any of your equipment. Again, that's just because I got in the proximity. But this is not going to interfere with any of your equipment. It is only when you trigger the walkie that it's going to set off some of your stuff. So we'll go ahead and trigger this now, and we'll show you how that's going to affect any of the equipment. And it does have a delay, so you trigger it, key it, and then it'll set it off. So watch for that, and we're going to go ahead.
One to mine.
As you can see, it has pretty much set off everything. And the REM pod is freaking out. So again, we'll show you that again. I key this. And everything except this one. We're going to turn the REM pod off. You can see that the REM pod is definitely affected by it. So we'll set that aside for now. And then we'll show you. So the Ovilus, and this is the energy mode of the Ovilus. Does not appear to affect it. We are getting it on the millimeter and the other one there. And when it is unkeyed and keyed, it affects this one. And it was affecting this one too, yep. And the eddy. So be aware that when you're using these, when we do put the REM pod out in the field and we leave a remote camera on it, we always set a walkie next to it, because then in that case is, yes, we know the walkie's going to trigger it, but it doesn't matter if this walkie is 5 feet from it or 10 feet from it or, you know, on the other side of the room. Because these things are broadcasting, it's going to interfere with the REM pod. And it is better to have the walkie right next to the REM pod so that when you have the video camera on the REM pod, you'll pick up that the walkie talked and the REM pod went off, instead of just seeing the REM pod go off and you don't understand what it's from. So if you're going to have video and audio on this stuff, put a walkie next to your equipment so that you can know why the REM pod went off. Because if the walkie's not going off, then that's a reason why your REM pod is going off is different than if it was. So again, we're going to key this real quick, and you can see everything pretty much spikes. It's a little bit delayed because it's transmitting, so they don't all have that effect. But all right, if you want to switch this to another setting, any of them that you want, and we'll see how the Ovilus is affected by any of this stuff. At least the walkies for sure. And this is proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
but it should sound if it gets within it.
So this is a proximity now on there, and basically that just checks for energy in the vicinity. So if we put the walkie over here and key it, it should show you where the walkie actually is. Just a sec.
I think there's a setting as to how close. There's a lot of settings on there.
There you go.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty close to right now the way it's set up.
But it is not spiking it again. You can see it doesn't do it. It has to be pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And it does set the proximity alarm off. So just be aware that that's there. Why don't we try this on the either the phonic or the alphabet and see what it does on that. or dictionary mode, I guess. Either the phonic or dictionary. This is dictionary. Okay, so
Yeah. Well, it was
you can refer back. You can refer back to the Ovilus episode on this. This is the dictionary mode. It picks up on July chloride. Okay.
Same thing.
This is being filmed in July, so that's ironic. But so there should, like I said, we turned off everything else in this room that we're taping. The only things that are running are the GoPro cameras filming this, and that's it. Our cell phones are off, like we showed you. So we're gonna go ahead and key this and see if that has any effect on the Ovilus then. Now, the thing that you gotta understand is this thing is setting off the same radio frequency. It's transmitting at the same time. So if this is picking this up, it should keep saying the same thing, right? Theoretically. So we should be able to key this again and get it to say lady again, because it should be saying the same thing, based on the way that we've understood the Ovilus should work. So it's interesting. It doesn't seem to be affected by it. I mean, it is giving off words and stuff, but it does not seem to be affected by the Walkie. So we can try. I'll pull up my phone again, and we'll do the same test. I'll make a phone call, and
Because I have talked on the Walkie with the Ovilus, and you've heard it over the Walkie, and it says different things.
okay, again, you can see this one's going off. It shows that my phone is back on. And we'll go ahead and try and call him Derek. His phone is off, but it's still going to transmit the signal. Nope. See? So it doesn't have anything going on there with that. And then we will try again streaming a video. Nope. And it doesn't seem, aside from the K2 meter, which is going nuts over there, it doesn't seem to be affecting any of the other equipment. So, if there is something that you want us to test with this equipment, I mean, if you have a piece of equipment or something that you use in your investigations or something, and you're interested in seeing how it affects some of these equipment, like I said, if you're interested in purchasing one or whatnot, we do scan ourselves every time we go out on an investigation with the equipment and see if anything on our person, any of our battery packs or any of the other electronic stuff that we have on us is emitting anything, and if we're contaminating the investigation. And, you know, this is the only stuff that we found is that our cell phones and these walkies actually do cause it to interfere. But like I said, you can carry these around all night and they're not going to interfere with this unless they actually, when you're talking. So having a walkie on you isn't going to cause a problem. And this is not just this brand of walkies, this is any walkies. They all operate on the same RF frequency. So they're all going to pretty much have the same effect on this equipment.
Does it matter what channel?
I don't believe so, no. They're all on the same bandwidth, and if one bandwidth is going to set it off, they're all pretty much going to set it off. So, and again, this is not radio frequency, so it's well, it is, but it's a different bandwidth than your actual car radio or stereo. So we could see how that would affect it, having a radio on. We can do that. I'll go grab one of those.
If you'd like to donate to us to get us a bigger conference room, he'll tell you where to do that.
Patreon. Patreon, you can subscribe and get more shows. No, I'm sorry, not more shows. You get
You lied, don't worry.
more episodes.
And air conditioning would be nice. fan?
We like fans. Okay. That's interesting. So I just plugged in the radio here, and I haven't done anything with it yet. And you can already see that the eddies... I just ran downstairs. So you can already see that the eddy is interfering with this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn on the radio here, kind of scrolls through some frequencies, and see how that... Okay, so just kind of scroll through the bandwidth here. Doesn't seem to be affecting any of the other ones though. I'm gonna make sure this is on. Yeah. Oh. The one on the far end that hasn't done anything yet. So you can definitely see radio frequency does affect this, but when you pull back here, I mean, here, we'll let you can see on camera. We're about 10 inches away from the equipment right now, and there's no effect on this. But you can, I don't know, don't judge my music, but this is just what's playing. But it doesn't seem to affect any of the equipment at this far until you actually get it up close. But then you're definitely seeing spikes on all the meters from the radio frequency. So that was a good test. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. And the other thing that I was interested in seeing is I actually have a magnet. And because these are electromagnetic fields, it'd be interesting to see if a magnet actually would interfere. And it does quite a bit. So just having a magnet, we can even make it move. So
Ovilus doesn't care.
Yeah. So keep in mind that magnets too are going to have an effect on these things, because it's clear that just bringing this in the proximity of any of those. I mean, these are pretty strong magnets, but it stands to reason. Obviously, it's an electromagnetic field, so it's obviously going to be affected by a magnetic field. So you know, keep that in mind. Just stuff to think about, that because something is setting off your meters, it doesn't necessarily mean it's paranormal. Obviously, I mean, it could be electrical, it could be magnetic. But that's because I'm just waving this around.
Oh, you had it over there. It's going doodle. Bouncing.
So just keep that in mind. But when the thing about this is when you do find something that sets these off and you can't rule it out, that's when you want to start looking into something, because, you know, obviously these tools are great. They do work. We've showed you that they all do work. They do what they're supposed to. All of this equipment is made to go out on electrical, you know, for electricians and stuff. It's made to go out and look for high voltage, stray radiation, stray magnetic fields and stuff. That's what these things are designed for. So we showed you that it works. We showed you that, you know, different ones set off by different things. And it's just something to be aware about when you're out looking at this stuff. So, and just show you a nice comparison of the different technologies that we have on our team, how we use it and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, if you have any questions about any of this equipment or any of our videos, leave a comment, send us a message.
Subscribe to our channel.
Yep. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.